It's been quite the November, December for me. My mom fell. She's been falling. She's a fall risk, as they call it. And she fell in November and twice and landed in the emergency room twice. And after that second fall, we made a decision that it's time to put her in assisted living, which is really weird because it's my mom, you know?
Well, and it went from, she lives in Wilmington, Carolina Beach area, and that's where she has been as long as that we've known you.
Yeah.
And it went from that to seemingly this very quickly for
So
you
fast.
that you were also, I know, trying to process.
Well, yeah, basically she got hurt on one of the falls so much that she had a little brain swelling, and it made her kind of, if you've ever experienced anybody who's had that, you get real confused. And it was just, I had to start calling in all this home aid. She did 24-hour care. I couldn't be down there. And I'm not qualified, to do what she needed me to do. And so the money, it is insanity how expensive home aids are. They're not covered by insurance, and they're like $3,000 a week. And
$3,000 a week?
Yes.
Per week?
Yes. And like if you qualify for Medicaid, but my mom makes $100 too much a month to qualify for Medicaid. It's like I've had a crash course on this stuff. And so by the second emergency room visit, I was just like, Mom, we legitimately cannot afford to have you in this situation. Like, and I can't take care of you. And so she's moving to Lillington, and which is nice. She'll be closer. But it's just really an emotionally charged moment, because, it's your mom. It's your parent. Watching your parent go from the person who took care of you to you being the person taking care of them.
That's
that switch is, it's messy.
Well, it's like you got a dump truck worth of things you have to do just right onto your lap.
Yes.
And not only just that you have to deal with physically calling this person, calling that person, visiting this home, visiting
So
that one,
much.
picking up. Like, that's one part of it, but you're right. The emotional part of it of, oh my gosh, everything I felt about the relationship and who I am with my mother changes instantly of what your responsibility is to your mother.
100%. And then on top of that, last weekend we went down there, my brother and I, to help her clean out her apartment for this move. And not only are we've helped her move in the past, right? But this time we're getting rid of stuff to, like, she's never going to see this stuff again. And it's a lot of our childhood stuff, and it's a lot of our, like, it's just like, it was almost like reliving the 90s. We take screenshots of recipes. My mom has a shoebox full of magazine cutouts, and the plates that I grew up with, and like, she's not going to cook anymore, and it's just they're simple tasks, but they carry a lot of emotional weight, which makes them all a lot harder.
Well, I think, too, in life, and the three of us, we've had this conversation off air, several times over the last almost 10 years of knowing each other. But, when we are younger, and I feel like this goes for a lot of us, when we are younger, you feel like life is so far in front of you. You got such a big life. And as you get older, these things, like the example and what you were going through in life, is all of a sudden, wait a second, we are now having to deal with this, taking care of our parents in that role reversal. And I know, plus for you too, Sarah, this wasn't something that you knew was coming. I mean, the last time we talked about it, we thought she might be moving to Raleigh last year.
I know.
And so it just hit like, oh, wait a second, I am now in this moment of having to do all these things and make sure my mom is in a safe environment for herself so I can now take care of her.
I know. It all happened very quickly, and there's a lot of reasons for that I won't go into, but yeah, it's weird. So it's been over the break, I had a lot of good moments, but I mean, it was a heavy break. I had to go, holiday break.
Well, it's a task that's just hanging over you like a cloud. It doesn't go away. It's always there. It's complicated.
Well, and we move her in this Saturday, and my brother has two profoundly ill children, and so I can't put any of this on him. So it's all on me, and that's fine. I've agreed to that. I've accepted that. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm just doing the best I can, and I'm learning that there's so much to be said about what happens to our population when they hit this time.
What have you learned?
I've learned that if you have no money at all, you're in pretty good shape as far as being able to find assisted living and nursing care. If you have a lot of money, you don't need help. But if you fall in that middle, you are falling through the cracks, and that middle is huge.
Do you think that's the way the system is set up in order to
is right now.
bankroll that industry?
Oh, I don't
because
know.
it's the middle class that is like everything.
I don't know.
The middle class is always usually picking up the tab.
All I know is finding out that she was $100 away from, and she doesn't have a lot of money at all from qualifying for Medicaid. I mean, I think I had a minor panic attack.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've worked here, and then I've gone home over these past 2 months. I've worked here, then I've gone home and spent another 6 to 8 hours trying to iron out all the details for this stuff.
Wait,
hiring
6 to 8 hours every day?
Not every day, but at least once a week for the past 2 months, I'd have another 8-hour day of navigating all this stuff.
Sarah, like you, I know your mom, a lovely person and human being, has a lot of pride like you do. How has this kind of transition been for her, for somebody that's, been single? She's lived her life. She has done her Claude thing.
Yeah.
How is she kind of handling this transition in her life? Because
Thanks for
I know
asking.
For her mentally, you said it's not too bad. She can still do things.
I mean, she forgets stuff. She's 76.
But how is she doing with all this?
It's last year when she was talking about moving to Raleigh, she did not want to move to Raleigh, and it was abundantly clear. And there's a lot of reasons why, but I was like, okay, let's give it another year. Let's give it one more year in your apartment, and we'll see if things improve, because it was her physicality that was starting to fail, right? And not her mental, knowledge or whatever. So she was very against it. But after that second fall, I was at my wit's end. I was like, I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do here. And I was like, I think and I came to the realization that she's going to have to go into a home. I talked to her about it, and she didn't even she's like, I think you're right. And I was like, oh, damn. Okay. She knows, she needs help in the shower. If you get in a chair too low, she can't get out of it. It's constant care. And I have a life, and I have a son, and I have, a job, and I just don't have it. I don't have it. And I don't have a house that can accommodate somebody like that. I've got stairs in order to get from the front door to either living area. I have the choose your own adventure house, a stair going up and a stair going down, a split level. She can't live with me. So I can't, it's just like there were so many I can'ts, and assisted living was just the answer. And, I found her the best place I could. She doesn't have very much money. This place in Lillington, I've been to, some of these places are just so depressing. Like these people walking around like zombies and in their pajamas all day, and they look like their hair's a mess. And I'm just like, God,
like an animal shelter for old folks.
It's just so sad. And this place, it was bustling, and people
Has
were
life.
talking to each other.
Yeah.
And there were some women that looked like her, and you could tell, and they all had nice clothes on. And I was like, okay, this feels better. It's not ideal by a long shot. We don't have a lot of money in my family, but it's the best we can do. And every time I go there, I get reassured that they actually care. And anyone who's gone through this knows finding people like that is really hard. So we move in on Saturday, and it's going to be, it wakes me up at night. Like I couldn't sleep last Friday because we thought we were moving in last Friday.
Yeah, it's your
The
mom.
idea of leaving.
Yes.
And her just being there, just kind of, it's comforting on a lot of levels, but it's also really it's just sad and weird. It's very weird.
Well, it's weird. I'm sure it's weird taking care of your parents and again, forever they've taken care of you, or you've had at least the idea of that sort of relationship.
Well, you didn't have to worry about it.
You just didn't have to worry about it. You're both adults. You can take care of yourself. I'm doing my own thing. And then suddenly, it's just in a snap, you had no idea she'd fallen. And then all of a sudden, we've got this crisis, and you're trying to unpack it as quickly as possible. Does it make you want to be nicer to Luca?
It has. I've learned. This has been quite the learning experience, though.
One day, he's going to determine whether you go to the or the nice place.
Well, it's not. I would love to put her in the nice place. I just can't. There's not enough money in our family, but it does. It have learned a lot. not only about how the system works, but also about what they were planning. You know, my mom is not a planner like that. There's no will. She has no will. So I got to work on that with her soon. Like, you know, that kind of stuff. So I'm learning a lot of what not to do.
Are there moments where you just want to say figure it out for yourself?
It was to be
Because honestly, because I'm thinking
be-
that how weird it is. Like, you're kind of having to mom your own mother.
I know. To be perfectly honest, in the beginning, I had a lot of anger.
Yeah.
There was a lot of anger, but I've moved through that now. And I am
Good.
I am actively looking for a therapist because I can't process this by myself. There's a lot of emotion that comes up and in surprising moments, you know, and I'm just like, ugh, you know, and it's making me view things in a way that I don't necessarily want to keep viewing things in, you know, so I need a therapist to help me figure this out. And just process. I need help processing all this.
Well, we are sending Claude so much love as she makes this major life transition.
Thank you.
Sending love to you and your brother and your family as you kind of go through all this as well for the first time. And, you know, it's a weird thing when you get to these points in life and you're like, oh, man, now I need to be the one stepping up for my parent as they've stepped up for me my entire life. So wishing you the best of luck. And thank you for sharing, Sarah, what you've been kind of going through behind the scenes, and much love to you because Brian and I have seen you putting in the work here after the show's done, trying to make sure your mom is taken care of, which says a lot about who you are and the love that you want to give your mother. So much love to you and your family as you go through all this. And if anybody else right now is listening, going through your own big life transition with their parents, sending you much love too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
in
not
this
easy.
moment. It's Kyle, Brian, and Sarah on Mix.